What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am Eric and we are Ryden Dirty, and this is the channel where we start small and go huge. So today's episode is a follow-up episode. People have been asking me to make this video for a while now, and they want to know if my fully autonomous drone by Skydio 2 is worth having, keeping, selling, or throwing in the trash. Stay tuned, I'm gonna tell you all about it. I purchased my Skydio 2 a little over a year ago. I bought the drone, I also bought what they call the beacon, which is a remote, and I also bought 2 of the battery packs. And I primarily bought this drone just to use it for doing footage on a bicycle, whether it was one of my mountain bikes or a dirt jumper or whatever bike I was riding, because usually I'm out there filming by myself for the most part. So I wanted to have my own little helicopter camera following me around to get all this really cool footage. I've been putting out a few videos about Skydio and my journey so far. There's gonna be a link up above somewhere around here that you can click to see the rest of that playlist. So if you wanna go and watch some of those first and then come back, either way, you're gonna learn some stuff today about what I did. At the beginning of this journey, I was a little frustrated. There was a lot of things that I didn't know. There was a little bit of a learning curve to learn how to use this drone the right way. When I saw all the commercials, I thought it was just like a plug and play thing and you just go and you do all this cool stuff with it. For instance, look at this footage right here from Skydio. I gotta say, that's some pretty cool stuff. The moment I saw those commercials, I was sold and I had to have one. But like I said in the beginning, it didn't go very well. Little bit of Skydio not doing what it was supposed to do, and a lot of bit of user error. Let me just say, making these videos about the Skydio and how it wasn't working for me, I got a lot of flack for that because other people were saying that their Skydio works flawless and everything was great. If you're gonna be someone that's sitting in like your front yard and throwing a ball for your dog, yeah, the Skydio is probably not gonna mess up. It's probably gonna look great. But for someone like me who was going fast down trails and trying to do kind of like some extreme sports activities, it wasn't working out great. The footage you're about to watch right now was the very first day that I actually had the drone, and I took it out first thing in the morning just to see how it was gonna go. And as you can see, all of a sudden the drone was following me and then it just lost me and turned around and left. And I was so confused, but there was a reason why this happened from what Skydio said. And what they told me is that it was too dark outside for Skydio to see me, which I still found kind of strange because I don't think it's that dark out. But hey, they need high light, not low light, so that's probably why a lot of this stuff happened. And these next clips right here, you're gonna see where I was trying to get it to follow me when I was going down this jump line. And what ended up happening is it followed me pretty well for a little bit, and then it would just get lost and take off. And I just didn't really understand because I had the beacon on me. What I learned from that situation is that the beacon needs to be in the line of sight of the Skydio, otherwise it won't work. GPS works that way. I was not aware of that, but I learned that pretty quick. And the reason that I learned that is because when this wasn't working right, I immediately called Skydio to say, hey, I don't know what's going on. What am I doing wrong? Why is the drone not working? And I had a lot of conversations with one of the reps there, and he gave me a lot of pointers. He explained to me what it's capable of and what it's not capable of. So that was one of the things that I had to really learn, like what it can do and what it can't do. This next clip right here, I wanted to demonstrate what it did. It was doing really good, and then all of a sudden it took off and it started flying in a different direction. And I had no idea why it did that. I had the beacon in my pocket, which I also learned later that you shouldn't have the beacon in your pocket. But all of a sudden it took off and then it went like really, really far away and went into someone's yard. And what really freaked me out about that is that if the drone would have like flew into the house, it would have been broken. I don't think so much it would have crashed into anyone because of the monitors that are all over the Skydio. But I was still pretty worried that it just took off sporadically. So at that point I contacted Skydio again and I sent them all my flight logs, and they couldn't figure out what it was, but the thing they thought it might have been was the beacon wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. So I actually returned my original beacon and they sent me another one. The major problem is that the Skydio just kept losing me. After all the hit and miss footage, you know, some stuff was good, some stuff was terrible. I ended up, you know, putting the Skydio away for a few months because I didn't want to bother with it because I would just get too frustrated when it wouldn't work. Paid almost $1,200 for it. No, actually I did pay over $1,200 for it with all the accessories. And I was like, maybe it's just not for me. With that being said, the limitations on it are not huge, but there is some. If you're gonna change directions really quick and go back and forth, it doesn't always do that well because it's a drone, it's flying in a direction and it doesn't stop on a dime and it has to churn and go whatever direction you're going. So that kind of gets a little rocky. You kind of have to plan out how you're gonna get your footage as well. Realizing that I needed the beacon to be in the line of sight of the Skydio, I had to figure out a way to mount it somewhere. A lot of people said put it on your helmet. I felt like that was the most dangerous thing ever to do. So what I did is I went online and I searched and I found this mount right here that was 3D printed. Pretty cool mount. It has the GoPro tabs on it, so that way you can mount it to like your handlebar. I used this little mount right here that I found on Amazon. It was like 10 bucks or something like that. And then this would screw in and this would hold the mount. I basically took it like this, pushed it in, and then it just pops right in place, as you can see right there. It works, it did pretty well. This is kind of a hard 3D printed material. The thing I didn't like about this is that it was kind of flexy, number one. Number two, getting it in and out, it wasn't always the easiest thing. Like you had to like pry it. And I was always worried that I was gonna, like I can't even get it out right now. I was always worried that I was gonna break the beacon, but somebody reached out to me, his name was Earl. I did a video on this other mount, which was a really cool mount that he made. This mount right here was cool because the way it was designed was a lot better than the other one. It was very sturdy. It had these little screws right here. This thing came apart. You take the remote, you slide it in, and then you'd mount it onto your bike. Well, the one thing that was a flaw about this is that the only thing that was holding it was these two little tabs right here for a GoPro mount. Well, at the end of the day, this is a lot of weight on top, and this one ended up failing. It was a sweet thing when it worked, but it ended up failing because these little pieces on the bottom right here, they ended up snapping right off. Then this holder broke out in the middle of the trail, and I didn't have the holder, so I had to put it in the backpack, in the little netted pouch. And you can see what happened when I did that right here. And as you could guess, I was pretty bummed out because this was the one thing that was gonna hold my Skydio beacon remote, you know, on my bike so I could actually use it. So I needed another one and I couldn't figure out where to find one. So I just started Googling until I found something and I ended up finding this one right here. This mount right here has been like the best mount ever. Here's why. This one is made from a soft plastic, 3D printed as well. And it also works on my handlebars, and it's a very simple style, as you can see. It's just this little clamp right here, and then the remote goes in here. But here's the best part about this accessory. The beacon slides into this bottom part, which is a little bit bigger, and then you just push it in, and it pops right in just like that. This thing right here has been like the coolest thing ever, and it works so well. All right, so here's some of the footage after the update and with the new beacon holder and everything. So I didn't know how this was gonna turn out. And to be perfectly honest, I never know how the footage is until after it's already done, because obviously I'm not watching the screen or anything like that. So I just hope that it's working well. And what I always do is I try to put the Skydio in a certain direction to where I can hear it behind me, either off to the left or off to the right. That way I can hear that it's close or it's doing what it's supposed to do. So honestly, it's one of those things that like you go out there, you get the footage and you hope for the best when you get home to watch it all. And so I'm going down this trail, things are going good. I can hear the thing behind me and I figure everything's going well. And so I used it, I went home and saw the footage and I was like, wow, this footage actually turned out really good. So what I did is I took it out again and I wanted to make sure that it was really gonna do well. So I took it to another spot and I decided to play with it a little bit more. And what I did is I had my GoPro on at the same time and I'm kind of talking through this. So here's the footage on that right now. I mean, the one thing that is cool is that hopefully it works. Can't really hear it because I'm riding, but
Oh, there it is. It's keeping up. So that's a plus. I don't know if it's staying in the right spot that's supposed to. Oh yeah, it's there. I just looked back. Looking good. Hopefully it stays. I think the update really did help. I'm glad that they did the update. So, thankful for that. Plus we're on my new bike, my Evil Offering. So I'm pretty stoked about that. All right, so it's trying to get in front of me right now because I changed its position. Oh, there it goes. All right, so we've moved it all the way around as we're riding. We'll say the beacon's doing really good. Skydio's doing really good. This open space really helps. So I can't complain. And I'm super stoked that it followed me. Only the footage will tell at the end, to be honest, so. But so far, it's doing a good job. We're gonna go to this little tree area, see what it does. All right, it's keeping up. It's doing its thing.
Overall, I'm super happy that I didn't end up selling the Skydio because I just knew that one day they would do an update, and if I sold it, I would regret it. So I just held on to it, I kept it, I waited. Now it's working flawlessly, I love it. I'm so glad that I still have this thing because this is such an awesome piece of camera equipment. Like I said in another video, this is the best camera equipment I've ever bought in the sense of what it can do and how much more it elevates the footage to another level. The mounts, I mean, you have to have a mountain biking mount that will go on your handlebar. If you don't have one of these, forget about it. It's not gonna work right. You have to have this. It's what's gonna make it work. I haven't tried to fly it around like a woody area where there's lots of trees yet. I'm still kind of debating if I even want to do that. I don't think it's gonna hit a tree, but I do believe that it's just gonna put the Skydio in a bad situation where it's trying to obstacle avoid everything. And I just feel like it's just gonna be kind of a waste of time. Maybe I'll try it anyway, just for video's sake to see what it does. But you know, I've seen it go in wooded areas when people aren't doing things like riding a bicycle. They're like walking or running. Like, yeah, it works on that kind of stuff because you're not going as fast. But on a mountain bike, you're flying sometimes. So it's just kind of like, I don't know if I really want to like take the risk of all that. Another really awesome accessory that I got for this thing are these backpack straps right here. Because when you're out with the Skydio, you have to have the case because if you try to put it in your backpack, you're gonna ruin it. So I ended up buying these cool straps right here that I got on Amazon, and they're little things that are already right here on the case itself. All you gotta do is put these straps on and then you can wear the Skydio box as a backpack. And I have to say that this is definitely a must-have when you're out there doing Skydio things. You know, you're out traveling, you're doing some hiking or wherever you're trying to get to your spot, you have this backpack and you can just take it with you and you can wear the Skydio as a bag. Link will be down below for the straps. I got them off Amazon and I wanna say they were less than $20. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have any other questions or if there's anything you wanna see us do on the channel with the Skydio, put a comment down below. Do you think it's a good drone? Do you think it's a terrible drone? Are you gonna get one? Leave a comment down below. I'm curious to know what other people's thoughts are. So that's pretty much it for today. If you like what we do, hit that like button. If you wanna see what we're up to next, hit that subscribe button. And always remember, start small and go huge. Thanks for watching.